Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today I'm going to make a most simplest project, or you can say a most simplest code for a Pascal's triangle. So first we need to know what is the Pascal triangle. It is basically a triangular array of numbers. As we all know that array contains some elements or array contains some numbers. So it is a triangular array of numbers where each number is the sum of two numbers directly above it. For example, if we make a triangle, it contains the number of rows. Definitely, triangle must contain some rows. So, each number is the sum of two numbers that are directly above it. So, the triangle start with number 1 at the top, and each row there um, is constructed by summing the adjacent element in the row above. All the rows are in the form of triangles, so each element or each row is constructed by summing the adjacent element in the row above. So there is a formula that we mostly use is I cannot write here, but we use here the factorial of number mostly. So there's a formula. I'm just verbally saying you can note this formula, and uh, like you can do it on your own, or you can do it on your page, so that like you can understand the output easily. So there's a formula: C n to k n comma k equals to n factorial divided by k factorial into n minus k whole factorial. So this is a formula that we use to calculate the sum of the adjacent elements in the row. So we will start with uh, um, a factorial function, or factorial, you can say. We will import the factorial function from the math module. So because we are here using the factorial, so we will just import the factorial function from math module. From math, import the factorial. Now we will make the Pascal triangle, and it will contain the argument n. So Pascal method takes an argument n, which represents the number of rows of Pascal triangles to generate. So we will generate the number of rows in this triangle for I in range n. We are saying that for j in range n minus I plus 1, what we are doing here, for I in range n, it means that it is an outer loop. So outer loop will iterate through each row of triangle, and it will start from the row 0 and goes up to n minus 1 rows. For example, if the last row is n, so it will go up to n minus 1 row, n elements, so n minus 1 row. So we are saying that print and and for j in range I plus 1. Now we are saying that for j in the range n minus I plus 1, it is the inner loop which is responsible for printing the spaces before each row element. So it will print the spaces before any of the row element. So now we are saying that we will calculate the factorial formula that I already told you. Print factorial of I divided by factorial of no factorial of I divided by factorial of j multiply by factorial I minus j and is equals to. So now this statement says that print n is equals to this it prints a space without moving to the next line. For example, if we print a space, it will print space without moving its direction or without moving to the next line. And here print now if name is equals to main, we will give just Pascal triangle, and we are giving the 5 rows here. What we are doing here, we are just generating or printing the 5 rows. So we will see. Now you can see that initially it will initialize with the first element, and because factorial of 0 is 0, so we'll initialize with our first element 1, and it will iterate through all these elements from 1 to 5 rows, 1 2 3 4 5, and it is summing the as we said that in Pascal triangle, what we do, we just each element or each number is the sum of two numbers directly above it. So now, for example, now you can see 2 is the sum of 1 and 1, 3 is the sum of 2 and 1, and this 2 and 1. Now this 4 is the sum of 3 and 1, this 6 is the sum of 3 and 6, and this 4 is the sum of 3 and 1. So I hope you understand the Pascal's triangle code.